Hi, Michael. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. So, I know we've been talking, and you mentioned some people harassing people and putting up signs all over U of Calgary campus. Who are they, and what have you seen?
So there's a group that's been existing across Calgary on Calgary campuses for the longest time called the RCP, or Revolutionary Communist Party. As the name implies, you can probably make a pretty good guess what they're about. They are a group that advocates for a violent revolution through communism to establish some Marxist-Leninist utopia. And unfortunately, that means that they're going to be pushing a lot of what they want to achieve onto students. And for the last 3 years, specifically on the University of Calgary campus, they have broken God knows how many laws. Just as recently, their deputy president got a trespassing cease and desist letter because they broke into the university late at night. They put up harmful posters calling people who support the free market capitalism racist. They're actively calling for the deaths of billionaires on our campus. They have gone and pushed people if they are coming out of class, if they're coming off the train. Just as recently today, they were handing out posters and pamphlets to people advocating for violent revolution. And they also have a tendency to go to other people's events to harass them if they have views that obviously they disagree with. This has been an on and off issue for the last 2 years. And me and my group, we're affiliated with a group called Students for Liberty, have been trying to fight back against them to educate people the opposite way, the best that we can.
hmm And when you're saying they're going and pushing people, are they going out of their way to harm students who are just trying to go to class?
Well, obviously, it's a case by case basis, but at least from my experience, it's especially coming off the train, they can be pretty forceful. They want to give you a pamphlet. They want you to read what they're trying to say. If you don't listen to them, if you don't take their pamphlet, they try to guilt trip you into thinking that you are a horrible person because you're not wanting to take their stuff. They'll follow you. They'll make it so that you have to physically take it out of their hand, or else be prepared that you're going to be having people following you across the bridge into the university. So it can be pretty aggressive sometimes. My experiences have been nothing but aggressive, but obviously it is a case by case basis. I've had some people where you just tell them I'm not interested and they'll leave you alone.
And you said that they broke into the library overnight to put up posters. Have they made a habit of either trespassing or breaking school guidelines? And what have they done?
Well, obviously, I unfortunately don't work with the security staff. I thought I would probably get more information if I was, but at least publicly, they have a tendency to make a big deal out of their own crimes. If you go to their Instagram page, they have an amazing UofC communist page, which details actually all of their crimes because they like posting about it. Every time they get caught up for trespassing or harassment or any of that type of stuff, they actually have a tendency to post it. And I'd say it's a regular basis over the last 2 or 3 years since I've seen them on our campus. I'd say they've probably gone about 6 or 7 trespassing notices and 3 harassment notices by our campus. And yet, at the same time, while this is all happening, the campus actually hasn't done anything to enforce these notices. Every single time, the campus has unfortunately let it go, whether that because of these groups harassing student staff, or because I don't know if they actually secretly support what they're doing. However, there hasn't been any punishment for what they have done on campus, unfortunately. And I'd like to see something done. I mean, like I said, my fellow students are being harassed and chased around campus to, take their literature. They get told that they're a fascist or that they're racist because they support capitalism, or they have to deal with if they're in the library or if they're a student, that they're going to have to deal with someone trying to break in at night. That's concerning for a lot of people. And I think it's a failure, honestly, of our university staff and our university security for not actually properly enforcing the rules that are applicable to any other person. If I broke into the library at, midnight to put my posters up on campus, I'd probably be in jail, but yet they get a free pass. I think it's unfair personally.
Mm-hmm. And when you said they are breaking into students, did I hear you right? They're breaking into students' dorm rooms or residences or anything like that?
There has been some claims of that, supposedly, because you're not supposed to put up any posters in dorm rooms or any of that type of stuff. anywhere where like the residence buildings where students actually live, and yet those posters get put up. So either there's two things happening here. There's either people who are actively living in residence that are breaking the rules of their contract and are putting up political posters in the residence buildings, or they're breaking it. I don't know which one is which. Regardless of the point, they've been specifically told by security staff they are not allowed to do that, and yet they continue to do so.
Mm-hmm. And recently, after Charlie Kirk's tragic assassination, we saw a U of Calgary professor not quite celebrating, but making insensitive comments about his assassination. Is this an ideology that's pervasive on UFC campus?
Unfortunately, especially with the RCP and a lot more of these like far left organizations on our campus, as of late, it has actually been a big deal to talk about Charlie Kirk in a negative light. I actually attended one of the RCP's rallies last Friday because I'm a debater. I go to people's events. I want to make sure that, I can see if I can't change their mind. And the very first minute, as soon as the event started, they made a whole big deal about Charlie Kirk's death and celebrating it, clapping, cheering, and saying that I hope the man burns in hell. That is the type of comments that I heard from the UFC chapter, that I've heard from other students in these groups, but I have heard from even two professors as well too. In my opinion, it's disgusting language, because even if you don't agree with the man, if you disagreed with what he talked about, we're actively glorifying someone's death. And for some of these people, they're hoping that it happens again. And that's a scary thought for students and especially staff to be talking about on a college campus, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.